Hello, my dear children. Exams are near, so don't you worry, beta. Let's make this chapter super simple for you.
Sometimes, are you also a little scared of your father?
Hmm?
Well, it happens. And today, we're going to talk about a little girl named Kezia, who felt exactly the same way. Her story is really interesting, and you might even see a little of yourself in it.
Okay, so let's start at the beginning. We meet our main character, Kezia, and for her, her father wasn't just her papa. In her eyes, he was like a giant, a big, scary figure she was always trying to avoid.
So just imagine her daily routine. In the morning, she'd give him a quick, nervous kiss goodbye and feel so relieved when he left. But in the evening, oh, that's when the fear came back. She would hear his loud voice booming through the house, always giving orders. Bring my tea, get my slippers. And that look he gave her over his glasses, it was so scary that poor Kezia would start to stutter whenever she had to talk to him.
This one line from the book says it all, doesn't it? It perfectly shows us how huge and intimidating her father seemed in her small world. It wasn't just that he was big, it was his whole personality that felt giant to her.
Now, bachcho, pay attention. Pencils down, eyes here. This is a very, very common question that you might get in your exam, so let's make sure you know the answer perfectly.
So if you're asked, why was Kezia so afraid? Here's what you say. It was a mix of things, you see. He was a big man, yes, with a very loud voice. He was super strict, always giving commands, and he never, ever played with her. And that scary look, all of this together made her feel very, very small and scared. All right, so now we get to a really important part of the story. Kezia tries to do something really sweet for her father's birthday, but oh my goodness, it all goes terribly wrong. So here's what happened. Her grandmother gave her a lovely idea. Betta, why don't you make a pincushion for Papa's birthday? So Kezia gets to work, she stitches it with beautiful silk, but then she needed something to stuff it with, right? So she looks around and finds a pile of papers on her father's table. Thinking they're just useless scraps, she tears them into tiny bits and stuffs the cushion. But oh no, those papers were his very important speech.
And what happened next was just heartbreaking. Her father was so angry. He didn't understand that she was trying to make him a gift. He only saw his ruined speech, and he punished her by hitting her little hands with a ruler. This moment just made her even more terrified of him.
Crying and sobbing to her grandmother, this is the question poor Kezia asks. Can you feel her sadness? She's completely heartbroken and confused. She just can't understand why her act of love was met with such anger. But then, one day, Kezia sees something that makes her think. It makes her wonder, maybe, just maybe, not all fathers are like hers. She's looking through a little gap in the fence at her neighbors, the McDonalds. And what does she see? Mr. McDonald is laughing and playing tag with his 5 children. He even has the baby on his shoulders. It's a scene full of so much fun and happiness. And this makes her see a huge difference. Her father is strict, a figure of fear. Mr. McDonald is playful, a figure of fun. Her father just rests on Sundays, but Mr. McDonald plays games with his kids. This is a big moment for Kezia. She realizes that there are different sorts of fathers in the world. Okay, another exam alert. This comparison between the two fathers is a favorite for exam questions, Bacho. So make sure you understand this part really, really well. So what's the key takeaway here? Mr. McDonald showed his love through fun and games, laughing and being silly with his children. But Kezia's father, he was strict, and he didn't really show his feelings or play with her at all. It's all about the different ways they showed or didn't show their love. Now, we come to the most important part of the story, my dears. This is the big turning point, the moment where everything, and I mean everything, changes for Kezia. So the scene is set. One night, Kezia's mother gets sick, and her grandmother has to take her to the hospital. So little Kezia is left all alone in the house with just the cook. And, she's really scared of the dark. And, of course, that night, she has that same old terrible nightmare. The one about the butcher with a big knife and a rope. She wakes up screaming in terror, calling out for her granny, but her granny isn't there to comfort her. But look who comes to her rescue. It's her father. He hears her crying and comes into her room with a candle. And he's not angry. He's gentle. He picks her up in his arms and carries her to his own big bed. And as she snuggled up right next to him, feeling his warmth, she has a sudden realization. She feels that his chest is hard, but it's a nice hardness, and she thinks to herself, poor father, he's not so big, really, and he has no one to look after him.
This final part of the story is where Kezia's feelings change completely. The fear is gone, and in its place, there is understanding and love. So what did she finally understand? She realized he wasn't a giant. He was just a man who had to work so hard every single day that by the time he came home, he was just too tired to be a playful father like Mr. McDonald. She realized he did love her, but he just showed it differently. And maybe he needed her too. And this is what she tells him at the very end. As she listens to his heart beating, she finally sees the truth. Underneath that strict, tired exterior, her father had a very, very big heart. So, what is the big idea of this whole chapter? It's that love and care can be shown in many, many different ways. Sometimes it's not about playing games. Sometimes it's about working hard to provide for your family. It teaches us to look deeper than what we see on the surface. A very beautiful lesson, isn't it? All the very best for your exams. You will do great.